Okay, I'm on a roll. Still got the same hat on, so you know it's the same day. Um, Rockbonki. So I, your dad loved this place called Rockbonki. I'm sure you had gone there. And so it was right across the street from the Chuck E. Cheese. So your dad would take me there. We'd probably go there like once a month at minimum. But he took me there one time because he's like, "You got to go, you got to go." And I was like, your your dad financially was a little better off than I was, so he worked hard and he made a little bit more money than I did. I don't think I was really working much at the time, so I didn't have a lot of money. I never went out to these places. It wasn't kind of a thing our family did, right? We were more like eat at home and stuff like that. So your dad would take me to Rock Bonky, and it was great. And we always had to go in a certain, we had to get a certain chef. I can't remember his name. And so we'd always get the same chef, and then we would go, and then your dad would always get a little. He'd get a little sake. Your dad drank, but it was just a little bit. He'd just get a little sake, And he's like, "Oh, you want some sake?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not into that." So you get a little sake, and then the guy we would get the drop soup, the egg drop soup, and I'd usually get chicken because it was a little cheaper for me, and your dad would get steak, and sometimes I don't know if they did shrimp or crab or something like that, but yeah. So we'd always like sit at the same table usually, and then you get the same guy. But what your dad also did was, since the cooks there were all from Japan, and they all spoke Japanese and they could read Japanese, your dad would take his video games there. He'd take the manuals to the video games to have those guys translate them for him. So he'd go down there and eat, and then he would take his video game because he was getting all these games from Japan. They were all in Japanese, and all that you couldn't read nothing. And I know your dad always wanted to learn Japanese. So did the other Mike. So that was always funny because he knew a little bit. But so we would take these down there and we'd go get something to eat, and then we'd have the guy look here, what's this part of this manual right here? Can you tell me this part right there? Because I don't know how to get past this part. And say, oh, that's what. And he would write it down, and so yeah, I remember going there. We used to go there a lot. I mean, sometimes we'd go at least once a month, if not a couple times a month. And then as I got a little better job, I could justify going there and eating. And your dad like, come on, we got to go down to Rock Bonky. And so we would meet there and just go eat. And so that's Rock Bonky. Yeah, he always loved going there, and the guy would do the whole thing. And I think we went there for my birthday. I think we went there for we could have went there for Mike's. I've got some pictures of your dad that I found, and I'm going to send you. I think we might even gone there. I think we might have gone there for before your parents got married, and then maybe for Mike and Marcy's wedding, my brother-in-law and sister. But anyway, yeah, that was a lot of fun. Rock Bonky.